What was up with that transition not working? That was weird. Yo, what up? What up? Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, yeah. I try to find good clips, really good clips to end the montages on, you know? And that was definitely one that I was like, oh, that's the perfect clip, dude, to end one of the montages on. Kind of hyped up, you know what I mean? It's a fun one too. So, yeah, that was a deliberate thing to like end the montage on. I definitely try to do that to the best of my ability. And that was one of the ones that I knew for a while that I would want to end a montage on. So there's a lot of good ones out there, but man, that one really stood out, you know. Yo, what up, Ferret? What up, Vault? What up, my peoples, my dudes and dudesettes? Happy Monday, I hope, man. Bro, I had another brutal night trying to get to sleep last night. I finally got there, but god dang, dude. It's like every time my body tries to lay down, it's like all of that flipping crap my body's trying to expel, you know what I mean? It just settles in my lungs, dude, and I just start going crazy. But I don't know, I got there finally. I actually feel like I finally got like more restful sleep last night than I have in a while, which is good. But dude, finally getting to sleep last night was brutal. When I first laid down, I just couldn't quit. What up, Davey? How you doing, buddy? So, it'll be a good day, dude. We'll do the news. We got a bunch of articles already from Vault and Ferret. So thanks, guys. We got some articles up already. We'll find some more, and then we'll go through this video gaming news segment for today, November 6th, and then we'll get into another day of Baldur's Gate 3 with our buddy Pinky, dude. It'll be a good day. It's been a banger so far, dude. The game's a lot of fun. It's cool. I'm all right, dude. I'm all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. It's I'm just trying to progress. I'm so exhausted from being sick. This sickness has lingered so bad, dude. I thought it was going to be one that I got over fairly quickly because it felt like I was. And then I went out on Halloween with family and it was really cold. And it was like, it made it so much worse, dude, being out in the cold and everything. And instead of getting over it like I thought I was, it made it like 4 times as bad. You know what I mean? And so it's just been brutal. My body's just exhausted, dude, from like not sleeping well, coughing my head off all the time. It's brutal. Yeah, I can see that, Davey. Yeah. The difference being, I can see obviously people that lurk that are logged into accounts. If people are like watching the channel that are not logged into a Twitch account, they're not considered a user, right? So that's one of the differences. Hold on, I'll just say. It's not something that I pay a whole lot of attention to. You know what I mean? It's something that I can look at. It's not something that I have up all the time. I'm not constantly paying attention to who's here. You know what I mean? I'm more worried about just interacting with the people that want to be interacted with, if you know what I mean. You know? The people that are actively engaged in trying to be a part of what we do, then that's who I'm more worried about, you know, interacting with. But occasionally I'll look and see who's hanging out, you know, because sometimes I do need to know who's here, sometimes for moderation purposes, sometimes if I need to talk to somebody specific, like mods and stuff like that, or if there's something that comes up that I need to talk to somebody about, I just look and see if somebody's here, and I'll glance to see who all's around and stuff like that. No, it has nothing to do with following. Has nothing to do with following. No, it's just if you're not logged into a Twitch account, you don't have a username or anything. You're not using an account. You can still view Twitch. not logged into an account. You know what I mean? It just depends on how the channel's set up and stuff. And I don't know how that works anymore, really. But you can still get on Twitch without an account and view Twitch and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think that now here's the difference. A lot of times there are measures that have been put in place now for broadcasters and content creators. Like you can't chat, obviously, if you're not logged into an account. And even if you are logged into an account, like I have the option of making it to where people cannot engage in chat if they don't have an account that's verified with like an email address or verified with a phone number, stuff like that, which is one of those things that helps to combat like bot accounts. It helps to combat like people that create dupe accounts to avoid getting around bans and stuff like that. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. But yeah, there are people that can just watch Twitch without engaging and stuff, that like without being logged into an account, but they won't show up as a viewer. They won't show up as a user because they're not using a username or anything like that. Yeah. So you never truly know exactly probably how many people. Yeah. No. Yeah, it's a good question. So, yeah, that's kind of how it works. And I do have the ability to like look over and see who's hanging out. Now, the difference being, it's sometimes hard to determine because Twitch has their own bots. They're like moderator bots that kind of hang out in different channels. They scan around through chat and stuff to make sure there's nothing breaking terms of service, and they can report back to live moderators. So you'll all see the same names, Autobots, right? Yeah, they're Autobots. So if something bad happens, they roll out. You know what I mean? And they go tell an actual person, moderator for Twitch, that they need to review something. Yeah. It's I've said this before. It's one of those things that it's like those people that there are a lot of people that I think get into this that just view it as, because they're maybe a little bit misled by the fact that all they see about Twitch or about broadcasters or famous content creators is the fame and the fortune. They don't understand necessarily that that's like the 1%, right? If even that. Most people are struggling to just make enough to survive doing it full time, right? If even that. And it's a very tough segment to break through that barrier of making money in. It's tough, dude. It really is. It's like winning the lottery, really, dude. It's like winning the lottery, yeah. I've said that to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people that were early in their like kind of ventures for streaming and stuff like that. People just have to be realistic about it, you know. I'm realistic about the fact I might not be able to do this. It's a ton of work. Depending on what you want to get out of it. You know what I mean? I work an insane amount of time on the stuff, everything that I do behind the scenes. I'm way behind right now because of being sick. I'm way behind. I probably work because this is more than like a full-time job for me, right? Just the live content is more than a full-time job. I'm normally doing this probably, I don't know, 45 to 50 hours a week, something like that. Usually, probably. So normally more than what most people would consider like a 40-hour work week. There's usually a little bit more than that I put into just the streaming. It just depends week to week, you know. And then I'm probably putting another 20 hours in on the back end each week, give or take. Sometimes could be a little bit less, sometimes could be a little bit more. Trying to take care of the Twitch channel, take care of the YouTube channel, get more things done for you guys and us as a community. And there's the Discord, which shout out to Pinky and to Bo. They've really taken a big chunk of the Discord for me. I don't really have to do much for that anymore. But all of the other content is still me, you know, it's everything. So it's very time intensive. I've never had more pleasure doing anything for work in my life. I love this. I love you guys, dude. I love hanging out with you every day. I do this because I love it, and I do it because it brings me so much joy. I tell this to like all my family and everything. They're like, family and friends that find out I've been doing this, stuff like that. And I'm like, it's definitely not the most lucrative job I've ever had in the world, monetary wise, right? But it is the most satisfying job I've ever had. It makes me feel complete. It gives me so much joy to do this, and I've never worked as hard or as long on something in my entire life. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's why I tell people a lot. It's about you need to have a passion for it. You need to know what you want to do. You need to have that passion, and you just got to keep trucking, dude. You know what I mean? I think that's all you can really do. It's a very, very polluted segment. Content creation, live broadcasting as a whole. It doesn't matter what platform. It could be Twitch, it could be YouTube, it could be Kicker. It could be Kick. It could be anything, dude. It doesn't matter, Yo, thanks, Vault. Yeah.
Vault Chaplain
it's very polluted. It's very polluted. I am very, very, very lucky, dude. I am. I've had good careers that have put me in a position to be able to do this. My wife has a good career, and she's very supportive of me. She's the one that pushed me to do this because she knew how much it meant to me to try this at some point. I never would have done this without her pushing me to do it. But I'm so very fortunate to have somebody in my life that understands my passion, doesn't share the same passion, but understands my passion in where that lies, and is willing to give me the opportunity to pursue this, because for a lot of people, even if it does come to fruition to be something sustainable, it's not an overnight thing. It takes time to build that, right? And hopefully that's what this will be for us, So I don't know. I think that's, another thing that I tell people, before, I think that one of the other things about the streaming, the content creation and stuff, if you're going to be a live streamer, you're going to be trying to build a community. I think that one of the big important parts of it is that you need to know what you're trying to build in the first place. Because if you don't have some nice groundwork laid, it's always going to evolve. You're always going to have to evolve a little bit, understand how to kind of keep molding and shaping everything as you move forward. We've done that a great deal, but we've always had a nice core foundation for what this community is and has always supposed to have been. I did that before I ever started streaming. And I think that that's a good thing for a lot of people to understand, because if you just start streaming and you don't have that underneath you, it's hard to change anything afterwards. If you get to a point where you're like starting to bring in viewers, and then you're like, oh, well, I wish that it wasn't kind of going this way, but you didn't have rules set up for that in the first place, and then you try to implement rules or guidelines or whatever to try and steer people away, they're probably going to bounce. You know what I mean? Because you're changing the core way of what was built in the first place. So I don't know. I think it's just something that people need to keep in mind for, you know, if you're getting into content creation and stuff, building communities. And that's the way I did it anyways. So I don't know. What up, Pinky? Yo, Vault, thanks very much, buddy. Incredibly generous. So, a lot of it is learning too, dude. Yo, what up, Michaela? It's a learning process, dude. I learn, you know, all the time, dude. Sorry, guys, I'm just still pretty sick here, but it's. I think that if you're interested in it, give it a shot. You know, if you're really interested in it, you think it's something you might be interested in, go for it. You know, go for it. Start toying around with it. Do some streams here and there, or some content creation or whatever. That's the way you learn. But you've got to be willing to teach yourself stuff. There's a lot to learn about what all goes into this, man. And you've got to be willing to dive into educating yourself about it, because you can't, you know, nobody else is going to do it for you, really, unless you're willing to pay people, and that can get very expensive. So you got to be willing to teach yourself, educate yourself, research. There's a lot of different things that go into it, and once you're familiar with it, it's not that bad, really. But there's a lot of stuff initially that you have to learn about how it all works, how to set it up, things like that, right? Still at work, not much time to write. Okay, buddy, yeah. Hopefully that answers some questions for you, buddy. I don't know. Let's dive in here. Let's get into this new stuff. Again, big shout out to Vault and Ferret this morning. Thanks. They've already hooked us up with some articles. Let's get over here, dude. Let's start this news segment. Let's do this. So, what we already have up, new revelations about Destiny 2, declines, Bungie layoffs, and final shape as make or break. It's probably going to be a good article right here. This is from Ferret. Ferret is our community Destiny 2 aficionado. You know, I'll throw this out there too. Ferret's an amazing individual that is always willing to help people get acclimated with that game. I know this is a bit of a daunting time potentially here for Ferret in this game that he's invested so much time and effort into. So with what's going on with Bungie under Sony right now and everything, and it's not really Sony, it's Bungie, but we're just gonna have to see what happens. We'll read into this and stuff, but if anybody is interested in playing some Destiny 2 or anything like that, and you're part of our community, you know, Ferret is a very, very educated, very skilled, and has a lot of time under his belt in playing this game, and is always willing to help people move through the game. Just very generous in that way. So not always available. Ferret has a family, Ferret has work life, stuff like that, but I'm sure that if anybody reached out to Ferret, he's actually, you know, posted this out there a few times, that if anybody needed any kind of assistance getting into the game, learning the game, things like that, he's willing to help out, you know, learning raids, stuff like that. So if there's anybody out there in our community that would like to learn more about Destiny, Ferret is the one. He's the one. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind if people just like maybe tagged him in the main channel or something to have a bit of a discussion if you're interested in the game, okay? Thanks, Ferret. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah. Not pro until you hit about 5,000, right? So you're about halfway there. I'm just playing, dude. That's a lot of flipping hours. It's a lot of hours, dude. Oh, man. We got PS5 autopsy reveal, so we'll get some more info about what the new PS5 Slim is having inside. 1 minute. Sorry about that, guys. We got some Switch 2 benchmark stuff. Hypothetical. We'll take a quick glance at this. We'll see what we can pull out of it. When you realize how bad at the game you are. When you realize you'll never be the best. So you quit playing and go, why did I spend 5,000 hours in this game? That's a good thing to note there, Ferret. Yeah. I always liked the PvP in Destiny 2, though. Whenever I played it on release and everything, I thought it was pretty good. But I respect it. I'm one of those people that I like both PvP and PvE side of games, though. So I've always enjoyed that. So we'll take a look at this. We've got Blizzard on the possibility of WoW on Xbox. Dude, it's going to happen. We are Microsoft now. We've talked about this previously. 5K hours could have got a PhD. Yo, you do. You got a PhD in Destiny 2. You got a player haters degree, dude. And then we'll talk about this. So Vault's been playing Jusant, so I'm sure that's where part of this came up. You've never heard that? You've never heard that, Ferret? For real, dog? You've never heard that before? Bro. That's some old, like, R&B, some, like, old rap slang, dude. PhD, player hater degree, dude. Yeah. Yeah. But it works really well for this instance, you know what I'm saying? For the gaming stuff, so, yeah. It was a pretty nice little spit there, I guess. Player haters ball, there you go. Spell show too, yeah. They do have class, dude. There's a lot of highly played games that people put classes on for and stuff. Yeah, this is so I'm not as like interested in this article just because of Jusant accessibility features, but we talk about this occasionally, just about accessibility in general, right? And there's an amount of what devs have become known to call accessibility features that I think most games should have by default. I don't think games should release without certain things that a lot of these developers have started wanting to call accessibility features, which I disagree with. It should be something that every game should have, like things like button mapping, key binding, stuff like that. Or like a field of view slider, stuff like that. The developers have gotten to where they want to start calling that stuff accessibility features. And I'm like, no, that's just a default option that every game should be releasing with. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of accessibility is becoming a more and more visible thing for the gaming industry, which is good. Because there are so many people that need accessibility options, true accessibility options. And yes, things like key binding are definitely something that can fall in the realm of accessibility. That's why I'm saying that they've always been needed. That's why they should always be default part of a game's options. And so we'll talk about that too. We'll dive into that. We've talked about that kind of stuff a lot, man. Chappelle Show was such a flippin' banger, dude, back in the day. I loved that show, dude. Let's see what else we have here. All right. Yeah, we're going to start having a lot of deals come up, man. So we'll start trying to pay attention to some of them. Yeah. So it will. I have no doubt WoW will hit. And we'll talk about it more once we hit this article. We've talked about that before. This is the thing. It'll be part of their subscription service too. It'll be part of the subscription service, or you can just subscribe and have it as. I think that's the way they'll play it. You know what I mean? Oh, nice vault. There is. Yo, on where? Sold my wallet to Steam. Yeah, they just like handle it for you, right? Oh, on Xbox. Do you have a link for it, dude? You know, they canceled the second one. You guys heard about that, right? We talked about that in the news. They were making the, yeah, because that was an Ubi game, wasn't it? Nice, dude. Thanks. Sick, man. Awesome. Isn't that an Ubi game? Immortals? If I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah. Ferret. So they we read about a month ago that they were well into the development of Immortals Phoenix Rising 2, and they totally scrapped it. Like totally scrapped it. Apparently there were a lot of like they were already into like the game testing phase and stuff. Okay, Davey. Yeah. Have a good one, brother. Be safe, dude. So they were like way into the testing phase of the game. They had a bunch of the game testers that were like pretty vocal about after the game got shut down. They were like, dude, the game was a lot of fun. We were having a lot of fun playing it and everything. And we don't really know why they just crushed it, you know? Yeah, same thing here, Vault. Yep. So that's unfortunate because a lot of people ended up liking Immortals Phoenix Rising, I think, dude. But we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about the whole WoW thing. We can speculate, you know, we can theory craft about how that's going to work out. We won't really know until Microsoft rolls out their plan. But I do think that, you know, in some form or fashion, it will become part of their subscription service, is what it'll be. I do think. Nice, dude. Nice, Davey. Awesome, dude. That's great, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Have a good day at work, brother. I don't know. I can't picture that in my mind's eye, Ferret. If I've seen it. This is gonna be about them. What's the name of that company they just acquired? iSize. Yeah. This is basically an AI company that specializes in AI to help with streaming and cloud-based streaming stuff. And we've already kind of talked about it, so I'm not going to dive in there. 4K monitor Black Friday deals. What do we got? We got anything good in here? Shut your mouth, dude. I hate this flipping crap, dude. There. We'll take a quick peek at that and see. Bro, look at this thing. You guys seeing this? Pinky. Yo, you just need to get this to go with your new computer, dog. Yeah, thanks, Davey. I appreciate it, buddy. Look at this flipping thing, dude. You can just live your life in an egg. Oh, thanks, Ferret. Let's see this. Oh, yeah, dude, I have seen that. Yeah. My bad, dude. My bad. Yeah, nice, bro. Oh, Michaela. You mean for like her profile on Twitch and stuff? I mean, look, man. I think that I know why I This is what I'll say about that kind of situation, okay? Look, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, I guess, you know, there's the whole saying, like, flaunt it if you got it and everything, you know, and there's nothing wrong with people being proud of their looks and their bodies and stuff, and cool, man, you know, that's cool. But I think what you set yourself up to have happen in those kinds of situations, if you're on any kind of, whether it be a social media site or it be a broadcast site, you know, if you're a streamer, anything like that, you're setting a precedence for what kind of audience you're bringing in, right? I just think you have to be ready for that. If that's the kind of content that you're pushing out there, you have to be ready for the kind of audience that's going to be a part of that. And that's going to be some weird stuff. You're going to have to be prepared for some weirdness. You know? I think that as a brother and a husband and father, I wouldn't necessarily be super psyched to see any of my close loved ones do that kind of thing, but I'm also not going to tell them how to live their life necessarily. I would advise them, you know what I mean? Like, I think you probably have, you know, that it you know, sometimes, look, this is the thing. I'm an individual that has had to live. I've had to learn a lot of things in life the hard way. I am from the school of hard knocks, dude. I did not listen to anybody whenever I was young. At all, man. You know, Yeah, exactly. I know that, Michaela. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, yeah. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Sometimes, that's all you can do, though, is let them know that you're saying these things because you care. And then that's all you can really do. If you take it to a point where it's making them mad. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me get a cough drop. If you keep like harping on it to a point where they get upset, and it'll start pushing them away and stuff. It's probably not worth. It's probably one of those situations where they just have to figure things out for themselves to an extent. There's nothing wrong with voicing your concern. It's a valid concern. And it does definitely set people up for some weird interactions, potential stalker situations. Look, there's plenty of historical issues of broadcasters being stalked. There's a lot of really smart people out there. There's a lot of really easy software for people to get their hands on that allow broadcasters putting themselves out there to be tracked down through different various ways. And if you're one of those people that's putting yourselves out there in different forms and fashions, in which people might want to start stalking you, it can get sketchy, right? Which is why I avoid giving out a lot of my own personal information. Eventually, people will find it out, but I'm not going to make it easy for people. I think that when people put themselves out there on like as a broadcaster, a live streamer, social media or whatever, as one of those like more provocative kinds of pieces of media, you tend to attract some of the weirder sides of people, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Ferret stated it very well, So I think that that's the best thing you could do is just I think you've done it. I think that if you feel like maybe having this conversation has given you a better way to state it, you can maybe address it again, to see if maybe getting the point across in a different way will work. But if you keep pushing and they don't want to hear it, it could potentially cause issues for your own relationship with them. And ultimately, all you can do is what you've done. People have to make their own choices, and they've got to live with those consequences. That's what it comes down to. Just like Ferret said. So, it's a tough thing to watch people go through sometimes because you can kind of see it. A lot of times you see loved ones doing things that you go, if you keep doing this or if you do this, it's going to end up being bad for you, more than likely. And you voice those concerns. They don't heed those concerns or take heed of those concerns. And more often than not, you're right. But it's sometimes just those kinds of people have to learn from those mistakes, or hopefully they learn from those mistakes. That's one of those things I preach a lot in this community is like, if you're not learning from your mistakes, you're not growing in life. Everybody makes mistakes, and that's okay. That's what life's about. We make mistakes. That's just part of being human, man. And if you're learning from your mistakes, then that's growth, dude. And that's what it's about, If you're not learning from your mistakes and you're repeating your mistakes, you're failing, right? Yeah. So I don't know. It's a tough situation, dude. I know it's a tough situation. I'm sure that, you probably see it as one of those situations where it's like, maybe she should, because you have so much respect for her, she should have more respect maybe for herself than to be putting herself out there in that type of light, you know, where she's potentially just going to be seen as nothing more than a sex figure or something. You know what I mean? And I absolutely understand that. Yeah. So, but people are gonna people, dude. And I think that you've just got to find solace in the fact that you've voiced your concerns. You've tried to advise to the best of your ability, and that's about all you can do. You can't force anybody. You know what I mean? So when you look back on the situation, you've got to be okay with the fact it's not gonna feel good if you watch her go through some tough times with this kind of situation, but you've got to be okay with the fact that you did what you could. Your hands are kind of tied. You know what I mean? So it's tough. I know. 1 second. Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. If you guys didn't know, this is where we're all going to end up. Yeah, Michaela, I don't think I was very much help. Really. I just... I mean, this is what we're all here for, right? That's what our community does. We try to help people through stuff. I've got an amount of life knowledge that I'll try to impart on people if I can. Like I said, dude, I've been through a lot of tough stuff, dude. I've watched a lot of other people go through a lot of tough stuff too. I'm not the wisest person on the planet, that's for sure. But I care about you guys, and if I can help with some advice that might make sense, then that's, you know, I guess better than nothing, dude. You know, this is literally going to be us from once these turn into like wheels or like hovers or something, this is going to be us from the movie WALL-E, guys. Are you ready for that? I am. I mean, I'm already almost there, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting chunky, dude. Just hibernating that chair all year. Thanks, Michaela. Bro, didn't I? Oh, Jesus. Should have taken away NCAA stuff, too, I guess. Spectre, have you guys seen this? Mountaintop's new competitive shooter. Let's take a look at this. I'm not familiar with that, I don't think. Logitech gaming accessories up to 50% off an early Black Friday sale. We'll see what's there. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit already. Yeah, dude, this has been ongoing forever. Epic going against Google, Epic going against Apple. They keep losing. Here we go again. Motorsport Games to lay off up to 38 employees. We talked about all the BlizzCon stuff yesterday. I will do my best, dude, this Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'm probably not going to get anything done besides catching up on getting a bunch of our streaming content put into YouTube and stuff because I'm so far behind from being sick. I've got like a week and a half worth of content I got to get. Yeah, apparently, dude. I'll bring it up real quick. They've been going after both of these. Yeah, I knew they had been going after Apple for a long time, but apparently maybe this Google stuff just kind of went down. We'll take a look though. Wednesday, Talos Principal Gaming. There you go, dude. I just kind of assumed they had been going after Google if they had been going after Apple. You know what I mean? But maybe this is just the initiation of it. We'll take a look. We knew for a fact they've been going after Apple for a while. Let's look at our other search here. All right, apparently the last of it, dude, we had heard this got scrapped. Apparently the director says he's still working on it. The Last of Us multiplayer game. There's this weird trend of very popular single player campaign type games moving into this realm of like wanting to get like multiplayer stuff going for their Horizon. Like the Horizon series is doing it. The Last of Us. There's a whole bunch of them, dude. It's really weird. Is this a surprise to anybody? Yo, Kelso, what's up, friendo? How you doing? Happy Monday. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will be riddled with cheaters. This is the cat and mouse game, dude. We talk about this all the time. Developers find ways to prevent. Hackers find ways around. Developers find ways to disable those hacks, prevent those, and then there are new ones that come up. And I hate cheaters, dude. I hate cheaters. I think it's stupid. I think most of the cheating and hacking that goes on in games is due to just soft-ass gamers that can't deal with losing. You know? Some of it's probably just to troll a little bit and stuff. But a lot of it, soft-ass gamers, dude. Don't know how to spend time elevating their gameplay to actually get good in a game. And instead resort to instant gratification, right? Of like just, oh, I can just download software and just wreck everybody. I hate it, dude. I hate cheaters. I love watching them get wrecked. Yeah, I love watching videos of cheaters get wrecked, dude. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about, though. They don't want to learn how to get good and dominate people off of skill. They want the instant gratification of just wrecking people, right? But basically the same thing. And I love the fact that developers are finding ways to eliminate better nowadays, because it's not just the cat and mouse game anymore. Their developers are actually trying to incorporate methods of preventing like dupe accounts, things like that. So it's like, yo, you got one account, you get one account unless you've got like numerous phone numbers or something. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's they're finding ways to prevent. It's still, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, you know. Yeah, you talking about some TF2 stuff, dude? Yeah. I hate it. It's gross. It feels bad. It literally is, you know, it's embedded in just about any competitive online, you know, game that you'll play. Somebody finds a way to implement, and it sucks, dude. It ruins. This is the thing. It ruins the experience for the majority of the people that want to play the game. The majority of the people that want to play those games are legit, right? The Division. Oh yeah. And whenever you have to deal with cheaters, it ruins your experience. For everybody that's a legitimate player, it ruins your experience. It sucks. So, love seeing cheaters get wrecked, dude. I hate it so much. Yeah, we got the teardown of the PS5 Slim already up. Shout out to Vault. Excuse me. Did Baldur's Gate 3 lose to Alan Wake 2? No. Oh, bro, I love them so much. It's one of my favorite things to watch on, like, YouTube. I love it, dude. Vault, did you ever watch Five Nights at Freddy's? Did you ever get to go watch that? Been slacking? No, it's cool, dude. I just knew you said you were going to. Yeah, I did watch that. Bro, I meant to tell you that I watched that. Yeah. Insane. How dumb, dude. How did they not just make the door itself contoured? You know what I'm saying? Why would they not just make the door itself molded contoured right there? What the heck, dude? Insane, bro. Yo, here you go, guys. Embracer's chief operating officer confirms departure following rough year. That's what I'm saying, dude. What, they popped in a little plastic grip in there? Didn't expect people to just try to pry it off? What? Actually insane, dude. That company should go out of business. This is big. This is big. Yeah, Kelso. Thanks for being here, friendo. Ends survive London's dark underbelly in a GTA-inspired game. Let's see what this is real quick. I haven't heard about that. Yeah, taking Google to court over antitrust. I guess they're just now doing this, dude. I just kind of figured they had already been in the midst of doing this since they were already taking Apple to court, you know what I mean? But we've got it up, so we'll talk about it. I'm really sorry for all the congestion and stuff, guys. The coughing and everything. It sucks. Yo, Sony Pictures rumored to be bringing Bloodborne movie to life. It's a rumor. I'm not diving into it, dude. I don't care. Anything that says Bloodborne, everybody goes nuts, dude. So this is a rumor. There's nothing substantial in here. I'm not buying into it yet. If we get something official, dude, we'll absolutely hit on it. Oh, report not. Yeah, absolutely. Sniffle boy. Yeah, bro. This is me right now. I got you, dog. I got your reply on that one, dude. Perfect. Got the sniffly whifflies. Yep, there's that emote for it, dog. That peepo's sick. Okay, it's fully complete now. Atari has closed the acquisition of Digital Eclipse. We've already talked about the fact that this was about to happen, so I'm not going to dive into it. We just hit on that a few days ago, but it's done now. Let's stick with this. We got a lot of articles. Let's go. Sorry, this page doesn't exist. One more time. Okay, this page doesn't exist. Let's go. Again, let me preface this with the fact that we're starting to see a lot of like articles about gaming and technology like cells come up in the news segment. I'm going to hit on some of the ones that I think might be worth taking a look at. I pay attention to deals even outside of us streaming and stuff. And if I find good ones, I throw them in our gamer deals section of the Discord server, right? This month and next month is going to be riddled with sell deals for gaming stuff, software, hardware, technology stuff. I mean, you name it, peripherals, everything. It's going to be all over the place. So if I find anything decent, we'll cover some of it here in the news. I'll put as much of it in the Discord server as possible in the Gamer Deals channel. The other thing to take into note here, like I've said before, is if you find a deal that seems good, research it. Take a look at if there's been better deals recently on that product or whatever, or if that's the best deal we've had in a while. Black Friday deals are coming up at the end of this month, and a lot of stuff's going to be really, really cheap. They're trying to get people to buy into stuff now because there's going to be so many good deals at the end of the month too. So don't forget that. Just because you find a really good deal now doesn't mean there won't be a better deal at the end of the month. But you don't want to miss out on a good deal right now. Just be careful. Oh, Pinky, no, dude. I got you. You weren't running your antivirus yesterday, were you? Camel. Yeah, that's a good one, dude. Yeah. You can link it, dude. You got those privileges, Doug. You can link it if you want. Refuse to believe it's because wearing only shorts on a shirt in like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, thanks, Ferret. Yeah, thanks, brother. No. You probably just forgot to turn on your antivirus while we were playing yesterday, and my sickness got to you. That's probably what it was, dude. Yeah. So, Logitech gaming accessories are up to 50% off in an early Black Friday sale. We've got another one in here, too. We'll do the 4K monitor. We'll put the Cooler Master thing in here, too. Take a look at all this right now to begin with. Yeah. Probs. Yeah, dude. Keyboards, mice, and gaming headsets are all discounted. Yo, I've used Logitech mice for the longest time. The with 503 Hero, I think is what it is. I love them. They go on sale for like 30, 25, 30 bucks all the time on Amazon, and I love them. But I've used that for Logitech for a long time. Also, Logitech makes a pretty good webcam, dude, that will go on sale around this time of the year quite a lot. What is the name of that webcam, dude? We'll see, though. So, the G733 Lightspeed wireless gaming headset, well-made stylish headphones, currently down $120, down from $150, 20% discount. This is them. Again, you can use Artings as well. This site right here to review. They review a lot of these kinds of peripherals and accessories. They've got headphones right here. You can actually bump them up against other headphones and everything to see the which one kind of comes out best review-wise. They're very, very, very in-depth with their reviews as well. They do monitors. They do all kinds of stuff. So highly recommend looking for some reviews on there as well. The headset has a 20-meter range, 29-hour battery life. G-Fit's True Wireless Gaming Earbuds down to $150 from $230, 35% discount. G Pro Wireless Gaming Mouse, $80 instead of from $130. The G203 down to $20 from $40. And they've got one of their mechanical keyboards for $160 instead of $250. I've had one of their mechanical keyboards. I didn't really like it personally, but you can take a look. I'll link this for you guys. Stabbed yourself with an umbrella? Bro, what the crap? 4K monitor Black Friday deals. Top early 32, 27-inch, 120, 144 hertz. Curve and gaming 4K monitor savings. What do we have here? It's just links. Nothing specific. Best 4K monitor deals. They've got links here for you. Looks like from HP. I would avoid HP. I'm not a fan of HP. I'm not a fan of Dell. But you can see they've got links to like Walmart, Samsung, some more stuff down here. Some stuff for MSI, Acer, Asus, all from Walmart, stuff like that. But I'm not saying don't look at those. Just make sure you're getting a good warranty and stuff, you know. So might be some good deals in there too. Neither one of those were as specific as I thought they would be. Look at this flipping the gaming egg, dude. The Cooler Master Orb X gaming cockpit. 29 just over, well, with tax and everything it'd be 20,000. Now available in China for 140,000 won or 20,000 probably US dollars after tax. Oh, the music. I forgot about the music, dude. Thanks. Girl. What up, Psych? Yeah, I usually turn it off when we start talking and getting into the articles, and I just forgot, dude. 3-head play. Shady stuff they do with their ink. Dude, a lot of the printers do that stuff nowadays. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're out of magenta, but you can't print anything in black and white, even though you have black ink still. Because you don't have magenta. Stuff like that. Dude, a lot of the printers will do crap like that. It's so gross. There's a lot of other shady crap that goes on with like all their ink and stuff. Like where they won't allow you to use, they'll put in drivers where you can only use their cartridges, you know, stuff like that. It's gross, dude. Yeah. Instead of being able to buy like the like third party cartridges, printer cartridges and stuff. Yeah. last year. What's up, Psych? Yo, big shout out to Psych, dude. Yo, thanks again, dude, yesterday for the I forgot to shout you out at the end of the day yesterday, man. But the 24-month Subarooski, dude, the resub. Incredible, bro. 2 years, man. Thank you very much, dude. That's why I print stuff at work. That's right, brother. Um, yeah, it's like it dries out, dude. Yeah, it's like it dries out. Yeah. It's weird. I know. Like the colors usually it's like you don't use them very often and they'll just be dead. They'll just be dried up and it's like, "What the crap, dude? I don't even print in color, dude." Use old style stamp printing? Yeah. I just fill up the magenta, dude. Just through my finger. Not really. Last year, Cooler Master introduced its Orbex gaming cockpit. Luxurious gaming station now available for purchase in China on Tmall at a price of over 19,000 US dollars, dude. It represents a new era in gaming setups designed for providing an unparalleled immersive experience for both gamers and professionals. Sleek, semi-enclosed structure crowned with a fully automatic movable cover creates a private pod that shields gamers from distractions. It supports three 27-inch monitors for immersive visuals, built-in surround sound speakers, eliminating the need for headphones. Features a 2.1 channel 60-watt audio system with full-range speakers. Tweets, them tweeters, dude, and a sub for 3D audio. Offers customizable ARGB illumination with various lighting modes to enhance the overall ambience of the setup. This is for rich people, dude. Gaming Cockpit prioritizes comfort with its durable ABS resin construction, ergonomic reclining chair made from genuine leather, offers adjustable headrest, lumbar support, and seating positions for extended use. Pod provides efficient organization space for PCs and consoles while maintaining a clean and futuristic appearance, available in colors like black or Arctic white. Power supply can handle up to 1200 watts for the computer host and monitors with a maximum power consumption of 750 watts. Robust, weighing 343 kilograms, comes in varying dimensions based on the monitor setup to ensure stability and support for the hardware. Good flipping night, dude. $20,000. I mean, this doesn't even include your PC, dog, or your actual gaming hardware. You know what I mean? Whatever. Um, Here you go, dude. Motorsport Games lay off up to 38 employees. Layoffs will mostly affect staff in UK and Australia. It's every single day, dude. Every single day, we have another company in the gaming industry laying off employees. It used to be, we read an article yesterday that was touching on the fact that it used to be like a trim the fat kind of situation would happen at like the beginning of every calendar year. Usually around January into February. Most years you would see this happen to a lot of the bigger companies and stuff. It's been like every day, man, through this entire year. It's just layoffs after layoff after layoff. Um, NASCAR rivals developer Motorsport Games has cut around 38 jobs in a recent round of layoffs, mostly affecting roles in the UK and Australia. Miami-based studio cut approximately 40% of its workforce worldwide to bring down its year-over-year operating expense. As detailed in an SEC filing in October, its restructuring program is estimated to be approximately $400,000 to $500,000, consisting of severance and redundancy costs to employees, the majority of which will be paid in the fourth quarter of its fiscal year 2023. Redundancies are expected to have been completed by the same period. However, the process may take longer due to the legal requirements in Australia and the UK, according to the filing. Earlier this year, 2 Motorsport Games employees won an unpaid wages lawsuit. This news came after the studio reported a loss of $8.2 million for its earnings in the second quarter. Wow. Yet again, dude, just another example of the industry just going nuts with firings, dude. It's so weird. It's been a year of just banger games, dude, and then just tons of firings, too. It's crazy. Epic Games goes to court to challenge Google's App Store practices. They've already lost multiple times against Apple for the same exact thing. Epic, the maker of the popular game Fortnite, launches the battle against Google in federal court today in a closely watched antitrust showdown that could reshape how smartphone users get Android apps and pay for in-app content. Epic's lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in California's Northern District targets the Google Play Store, focusing on Google's fees for in-app subscriptions and one-off transactions, along with other terms that apply that app developers such as Epic say helped Google maintain an illegal monopoly in app distribution. The legal battle follows a years-long debate over whether app store operators such as Google and Apple foster an open, competitive app ecosystem. Two companies argue their app stores help unlock billions in revenue for small businesses while ensuring that Android and iOS users can benefit from security oversight that the technology giants provide. The jury may hear high-profile witnesses testify from both sides, including Google CEO Sundar Pichai and Epic CEO Tim Sweeney. Court fight traces back to 2020 when Epic launched Project Liberty, a plan to circumvent Apple and Google's App Store terms. That move by Epic forced a confrontation with the tech giants. Epic updated the Fortnite app to encourage players to pay for in-app content directly through Epic's own website, rather than through Apple and Google's in-app payment systems. That gambit triggered a violation of the App Store's developers' terms. The move also prompted both app stores to remove the Fortnite app from their platforms, meant Apple users could no longer play Fortnite on iOS devices. Epic's case involving Apple may soon be reviewed by the Supreme Court. Fortnite is still available on Android devices through a variety of non-Google channels. In the meantime, Sweeney has alleged that Google controls, surveys, and taxes transactions between users and developers in violation of U.S. antitrust law. Google, on the other hand, has argued Epic simply wants access to the Play Store's 2.5 billion users worldwide without having to pay to support the platform, and that a victory for Epic could harm Google's ability to offer a competitive Android alternative to Apple's iOS. The suit against Google initially involved a wide range of plaintiffs, including dozens of state attorney general and individual consumers, as well as Match Group, the online dating giant that owns apps including Tinder, Hinge, and Match. But Google successfully narrowed the list of opponents it would face at trial as it reached multiple settlements, removing other plaintiffs from the case. Paid them off, dude. Money talks and opponents walk, dude. And now Epic's going to be standing alone, probably. Epic will now face off against Google in court alone. There you have it. God dang, dude. The Last of Us multiplayer director says he's still working on the project. Game was reportedly scaled back earlier this year. Yeah, we read about it. I thought it was like scrapped. The director of the upcoming Last of Us multiplayer project has said he's still working on the game. As part of a tweet about completing Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Vinit Agarwal said, and so this tweet can live on in peace. Yes, I'm still working on that game. Sony reportedly scaled back the size of Naughty Dog's The Last of Us multiplayer game earlier this year, following an evaluation by the platform holder and newly acquired Bungie. According to Bloomberg, the number of people working on the project has been reduced, partly as a result of the Destiny Studios' feedback as to its quality and viability. Quote, Bungie raised questions about The Last of Us multiplayer project's ability to keep players engaged for a long period of time, which led to the reassessment, the Bloomberg report claims. According to the publication, while the game has not been canceled, many of its developers have been moved to other projects, and a small group remains while Sony reevaluates its direction. Shortly before the Bloomberg reports publication, Naughty Dog seemingly preempted the story with a statement on social media in which it indicated the Last of Us multiplayer game would require more time in development. Quote, as development has continued, we've realized what is best for the game is to give it more time, the studio stated. Our team will continue to work on the project as well as our other games in development, including a brand new single-player experience. We'll see what happens. It's not looking great. But it's weird. So many of these single-player titles that have been very, very good. Horizon, Last of Us, some of the other ones, dude. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's been a lot of these games, these types of games, that all of a sudden felt like they needed to pivot into like the competitive multiplayer spinoff. It's weird. Embracer COO confirms departure following rough year for the games giant. The holding company has been cutting jobs across its companies. Yeah, they have. Embracer Group's chief operating officer has confirmed his departure from the company. Eagle Strong shared the news on Monday and claimed he left the holding company, which owns many game developers such as Gearbox and Crystal Dynamics, last week. In June, Embracer announced the appointment of an interim COO, which would be filled by Saber Interactive boss Matthew Karsh. The COO is typically the second in command, reporting to the CEO, and handles the daily business operations of a company. Quote, last week I left Embracer Group as COO. It's with mixed feelings. I am parting ways this global company phenomenon, rooted in Karlstad, Sweden, Strunk wrote on Monday. On one hand, I'm grateful for having had the chance to work with one of the one-of-a-kind CEO Lars Wingfors and all the other amazing colleagues, too many to mention, which I will be sad to leave. On the other hand, excited about the opportunities that lie ahead, starting and building my own company, Strunk Games. Okay. Strunk's history with Embracer spans 2 4-year stints from early 2010s and then and then from 2019 to 2023. In a statement, the former COO acknowledged his challenging final year at the firm. Quote, although the last year has been rough, in line with the general market changes and industry consolidation, I am positive that Embracer will come out stronger and with a long, bright future ahead of them. The departure comes during a difficult year for the holding company in which the collapse of a major deal with the Saudi Arabian government or Saudi Arabian regime, aka Savvy Games Group, caused it to implement a restructuring program which will involve the closing of studios and termination of projects, which first and foremost we saw Volition Studios, a 30-year developer, get crushed. They're the ones that made Saints Row. Among many other iconic earlier games. Descent, Red Faction, stuff like that. Embracer has since made layoffs at companies including Gearbox, Tomb Raider maker Crystal Dynamics, and Knights of the Old Republic remake studio Beamdog. Also shut down Saints Row developer Volition, like I just said, in August, and is reportedly considering selling Borderlands maker Gearbox, which it acquired in 2021 with a deal up to $1.4 billion. See what's next. Embracer looking pretty gross. Ends survive London's dark underbelly in a GTA-inspired crime game. You guys heard about this? The block, the bando, the feds, eventually you'll get used to it. London has a dark and dangerous side, and for some, even surviving is a struggle. That's the core concept of Ends, an all-new in-development game from Concrete Realm, taking inspiration from Grand Theft Auto and The Getaway. Ends aims to immerse players in one of the most authentic representations of London while delivering a gritty urban story that's choice-driven and thought-provoking. Caught up with Concrete Realm to learn about the team's development journey so far and to learn everything possible about Ends. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but let's watch this, okay? Ends announcement trailer. I'll link it so you guys can read everything if you want.
The block, the bando, the feds. Eventually you'll get used to it.
Huh. Ugh. When they're speaking with Concrete Realm, they learned that originally the goal was to create a single-player RPG experience, but thanks to the overwhelmingly positive response to the project, it's become more community-focused and has considered embedding multiplayer mechanics into the game. Dude, there's a lot to read about this. We'll keep track of it. I'm not going to read this whole thing. That's a long flipping article, dude. But that's interesting. Let me see if it's actually... Nope. That's not the same thing. By the way, if you haven't seen, RoboCop's killing it, dude. I didn't expect this. RoboCop's killing it, bro. 92% positive. Even on Metacritic, what's funny on Metacritic, it's like a low 70s rated game from critics, but the user scores on Metacritic are up in the 90s as well. People are loving this, dude. People are absolutely loving this game.
According to our sources, the attacks were aimed at catching the attention of a man whose identity remains.
Detroit has a cancer, and that cancer is crime.
A new crime wave sweeping Detroit has already claimed.
A lot of what I've heard is like...
Provokes a question. Can we put our safety into the hands of a machine?
OCP holds the scalpel.
This is the way you should be bringing a franchise
My
back.
name is Dr. Olivia Blanche.
Just make
I'm
it
a
fun,
police
dude.
psychologist.
You know?
I specialize in dealing with police officers suffering
Fun and
from
entertaining.
emotional trauma.
And people are just digging it, dude. It's like exactly what people were wanting out of RoboCop, I
Agree
guess.
that you are no ordinary police officer?
Reinforcements have arrived.
Those trigger-happy maniacs have a ton of hostages.
Drop it, scum.
Easy peasy, right, Psych? Yeah. Well, I think that there's something about, I think, you know, that saying, like, keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't have to get too complicated with it. You know? Dude, I just watched the remake RoboCop movie not too long ago, and it was decent. I like the guy that played RoboCop in it. It's, you know, it's tough to compare with the original RoboCop, but
However, one aspect of your composition that's been severely neglected is your human side. Your
yeah, I
human
mean, you're not
side.
wrong, Sight.
I've heard people
You know,
refer to you by different names.
but I think that there's something to be said for, you know, a game that if you're trying to bring, like, the story's already there, right? Oh yeah, dude, there's a remake of RoboCop. Yeah, check it out. There's something to be said, like the story's already there. Yeah, so it's like you've already kind of got the story. You just got to get some decent writing into it. Get it, you know what I mean? Like some of the better elements of gameplay that come together to bring the experience together for people. And this is a game that I don't think they've had a RoboCop game in roughly 20 years, you know? So bringing something like this back to the modern gaming for people is interesting. What I saw, the gameplay looked really repetitive to me. That's what I was worried about. It was like, it looked so repetitive that I was like, oh man, I don't know if that's going to be boring for people. But apparently anybody that's a fan of RoboCop has really been enjoying this, you know? So I think what they did it right. for bringing this universe back to life for people. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to do. So I didn't mean to make it sound like that. That's for sure. We've seen so many fail on that front. Absolutely. Yeah, check this out, dude. Oh, I know, but you're not wrong. You weren't wrong either. So I needed to kind of expand on that a bit. (2014) Yeah, dude. Right here. Pretty wild. Joel Kinnaman, dude. Joel Kinnaman. I like him a lot. Gary Oldman's in it, dude. Michael Keaton. It's pretty cool. And obviously Samuel L. Jackson, because he's in every single movie ever made, right? So I watched it on a subscription service not too long ago. I don't know if it was Netflix or Prime or something like that, but it's pretty wild. Pretty good. I don't know if it's like, I wouldn't call it up to snuff with like the original, but it's definitely a different feel because it's modern, right? It's got a lot of the more modern, technology and cinematics and stuff, Never watched RoboCop for reals? Jeez, dude. RoboCop was a banger back in the day, man. Here we go, man. All right, so for those of you that haven't heard, what was it? About 8% of their workforce that Destiny or that Bungie laid off. Roughly 100 people, something like that. Was it something like that? I think we'll probably find out in here, but it's a weird situation because, oh, Terminator versus RoboCop discussions. Yeah, dude, that's cool. Yeah, that was all. Yeah, those time frames were very close to each other, right? Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I'll do that. I just want to kind of preface it real quick. That way, if anybody's not familiar with exactly what this situation is, thanks, Ferret. Yeah, shout out to Ferret too. Ferret dropped this on us. He found this article. So there's a few things to understand about this situation. To begin with, so whenever Sony purchased Bungie, they paid an extra $1.4 billion for employee retention because they didn't want something like this to happen, apparently. But here we are. And everybody's kind of wondering, well, what exactly is going down. And again, we've seen all these developers be laying people off, firing people here, over this year. It's been non-stop. It's like just floodgates, dude, of just firing people in the industry. And Bungie's one of the latest. They've had their Final Shape DLC or expansion for Destiny that's been delayed till the second half of next year, as well as their new game they're working on, which is an extraction shooter called Marathon. We've found that game has now been delayed from a release of next year to 2025, and we've gotten nothing out of them so far except the same kind of default explanations, that we get from most of these developers, which is, wish we didn't have to do this. We love our company. We love our employees. We love our community. We love our gamers. See ya. And It's a weird situation. It doesn't feel real good. We talked a bit about it over the past week. I know for, fans of Bungie's games and everything, and long-term people like Ferret, it's a bit of a daunting look at what might be to come for the community, the communities that surround these games, right? Well, let's take a look at this article real quick. Let's see these bullet points. Additional context to everything that's happened this week, what's potentially ahead through, though, of course, there are no guarantees with everything in flux now. So, layoffs. Management said other levers were looking to avoid layoffs. When employees asked if one lever was executive compensation, they were told no. And that it would not happen at the company. Update post-publication, Bungie responded saying that CEO Pete Parsons, some other executives previously forfeited annual bonuses before the layoffs, but staff was not informed this happened until yesterday. The sum total of the bonuses given up is not clear. This is one of those things I talk about all the time, right? And look, dude, I don't even give a crap about bonuses. Do you know how much CEOs make in these industries? It's enormous. So it's at least something, though. Okay, this is at least something that we wouldn't normally get information on, and this is what I talk about all the time. Anybody that's here on the regular has heard me talk about this a lot in all of these firings. Especially with the big companies, like with Epic and Embracer and stuff. Did the CEOs do anything to try and, alleviate some of the pressure? That way they didn't have to resort to firing employees. We never get any clarity, right? It's all we get is just the same default base statement out of the company that we love our company, we love our employees. There's nothing else we could do. We had to fire the people to keep going. But there's no clarity. There's no open communication or statistics or, look, we made some bad business decisions. CEOs have, nobody's getting bonuses. We've, anything like that, at least there's a little bit of something here to go off of. But it's still not definitive information either. Internally, really, no one is blaming Sony for this, even management. Some employees were told that if the Sony buyout did not happen, that with the current Destiny 2 performance, the studio itself would have been in jeopardy if they were still independent. That is significant. Cannot be fully confirmed among every employee, but at least to some, Destiny 2 director Joe Blackburn is not really considered to be one of the corrupt culprits here for how things went down. Okay. The expensive new building that was a separate project that likely would not have saved jobs given the context of when it was drafted and when work started. Similarly, the $1.2 billion in employee retention that I was just talking about earlier before we started the article from Sony was spent long ago, often on buying out employees' Bungie shares which then went to Sony. There's nothing left in that pot to avoid layoffs, which wasn't what it was meant for this late in the transition. Okay. Good to know. So the $1.2 billion in employee retention from the initial purchase of Bungie from Sony was mostly used apparently on buying out employees' Bungie shares to Sony. The trend line of spending on the game over time made the current year's revenue estimates somewhat logical. So yes, the 45% miss is important and was not necessarily some wildly inflated projection. However, nearsighted it ended up being. There has been a real damaging drop post Lightfall in terms of player engagement, spending, and Lightfall sold very well. Employees are extremely angry with leadership now, have often communicated that publicly in meetings. Bets were made that did not pay off, but those who made them remain in the company, a fact lost on no one. The final shape. Delay was known by a couple months ago, happening late enough where there cannot be a 30th anniversary size drop to split the season, as that took around 8 months to build. There will be something in the season 23 gap, though. Let me see something here. Yeah. Okay. They want the final shape not just to be as good as Forsaken or the Taken King, but better. Hence the good, not great feedback that will be polished during a delay. It needs to be the best. It's viewed as the key to turning things around. There's no doubt that they hurt themselves with the last DLC, right? I don't think it was overall terrible, but from what I gather, most people were not happy with that DLC, especially the story. Ferret, can you back me up on this, dude? The last expansion, the last DLC, most people were not happy with the lack thereof. Right. It was pretty bleak. And a lot of people were pretty upset by the lack of content. That's what I kind of understood about it. The Final Shape campaign and features are reportedly quite solid, even in its current state, ahead of planned future work. They want to go even further, and there is some concern about crunch to make that happen, even with a delay. Destiny overall, part of the new PvP strike team was impacted by layoffs, but significant progress has been made on the map pack already. Should not be canceled. Update, have heard player security teams were hit heavily as well. That's rough. So one of the things I've always loved about Bungie is that they take really good care of their software. Their software and their community, dude, they are always trying to make sure that nobody is jacking with the integrity of their gameplay. Yeah, okay, Ferret, gotcha. Thanks, buddy. No significant changes have been announced to staff for the longer-term future of Destiny 2 plans because of these layoffs and the delay yet. Excuse me. No known plans to reduce support for D2 below old, already planned levels. No new info about the long-term or something like Destiny 3, which I did not get the sense was really on the radar. In-game LFG has been tremendously difficult from a tech perspective. Reportedly was announced to the community before the devs themselves. Far more complicated than players will understand, even if it seems like it's an obvious thing the game should have. It'll launch, but it's been a tough road. There have been many meetings about microtransactions where many devs wanted to reduce them. I love hearing that because that's one of the things whenever I got back into Destiny, I saw all the microtransaction stuff and I was like, bro, it doesn't feel real good with how much DLC they're wanting people to pay for. Yeah, clap for the devs on that one, dude. That's one of the things that, for people that don't know, Destiny started off as a paid game. Then it switched to more of like a free to try. The base game has a lot of content, but you're constantly being like kind of slapped in the face with, oh, do you want to do this? Well, you need to buy this expansion, this DLC expansion. Oh, you want to do this? You need to buy this DLC expansion. There's quite a bit of it. You know, don't get me wrong. It's a very well-developed game. And there's a lot to do. It's a fun game. It's a cool game. But seeing all the microtransactions on top of that was really gross for me. So Many of the devs wanted to reduce the microtransactions, but they were always given the reply that they are necessary given how expensive Destiny is to operate. Complaints about new ones don't always reflect reality. Event cards may seem lame, they sell well, for instance. Or you'd be surprised how many people are still buying the oldest expansions that we always say should be free by now. The ultimate goal is very much for Bungie to be a multi-IP studio with multiple games and revenue streams. Even if Marathon is a success, there are likely not plans for some huge mass migration from the Destiny team to the Marathon team, abandoning the franchise. Yeah, this all seems very self-contained within Bungie, and at least in this conversation, Sony and its own goals, live service plans, rarely came up at all. Yeah. Thanks, dude. Oh, yeah, that's not a good look either, dude. Yeah, that's not a good look. I didn't know about that. That's not a good look. Yeah. That's like their premium currency. The premium in-game currency stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good look. This is a good article. It at least sheds some light. We don't normally get this. Yeah, thanks, buddy. We don't normally get this, and this is what I talk about all the time. When we start talking about seeing all this information about these studios that lay off tons of people, why? Give us the deets, dude. Let us know what happened. So we can at least make some kind of educated conclusion about what's happening and whether or not this is a scummy company that is probably better off, they deserve to have this happen, or if they've done things to try and take care of their people. They're doing what they can. They've gotten rid of bonuses. They've had their CEOs take pay cuts. Things like that to try and save their people who have got them to where they're at. It's good to see a little bit of this. This is always something we talk about a lot too, though, right? Like, let me get back to this real quick. I've had a lot of comments too on certain videos that are on YouTube that have been taken out of the news segment. Whenever I talk about devs, right? Developers. When I say developers, normally I'm referring to a development company, right? Because when you're talking in gaming, you're talking about, so this is what I want to talk about, this right here. But when you talk about gaming, you're talking about development companies and publishing companies. Sometimes it's one and the same. Sometimes it's two separate companies working together to get the job done. But I feel like quite often individual developers within a development company feel attacked by me. That's not the case. I know that not everybody feels the same way, right? I understand that. I get that these are large corporations. And I know that not everybody that works there is in line with the business strategy that has had to be followed. I understand that. Okay? It doesn't change the fact that the people leading this corporation, the people leading this company, or these companies that I talk about, I'm not talking about necessarily Bungie specifically right now. I'm talking about companies in general that have become something of grossness, corruption. You know what I'm saying? The greed monsters we talk about in this industry. I'm not trying to single out developers. I often talk about in the channel, in our news segments and stuff, the fact that I know there are great people that work in these companies and they are just unheard and overlooked. And that sucks. That sucks. I hate it for them. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to work in positions where you fight every single day for the greater good and you're never taken into consideration. You know what I mean? You fight for what you know needs to be done, for the right things, for the things that you see and other people see to be what should be done for the business to move forward in the correct direction, right? And for management to give no cares, dude. Are you Aquaman? Wait, what? What is this, dude? What is that even about? Where did that come from? And it's terribly horrible to deal with. It's soul crushing, dude. I understand that. So I'm not trying to single out people here. When I talk about developers, I'm talking about the company. You know, because you can't not talk about the company as a developer that handles the business side of what they're producing as a product in this industry. I know that it's not indicative of the way everybody feels that works for that company. But a lot of the times, all we have to go off of is exactly what we see from the outside looking in for the people that run the business, you know? And a lot of times, it sucks. Oh, yeah. I think I'm more like the deep, dude. I need that 3-head with the tentacles on the side. Somebody hook me up, dude. You know what I'm saying? We hope not. No, I know. I'm just kidding, dude. So, for anybody out there that might have seen me talk about a lot of this stuff and call out developers and things, I'm not calling you out on an individual level. I'm calling out developers as a company and as corporations for doing the crappy things they do. You know what I mean? I know there are good people. I know there are good people that work for Blizzard, but I hate that company. You know, I'm hoping they'll be better underneath Microsoft. Just like, same with EA. I know there's some good people that work for EA. That company sucks, you know? So I hope people understand that I'm not trying to single out people. I'm not trying to single out the literal developers that work for the development companies. I need to try to be explicitly very clear about this situation because I've had people comment and, you know, like I'm attacking them as a single developer that works for these companies or something. That's not the case, dude. I'm like Make-A-Wish Aquaman, I guess, because that's Make-A-Wish Fat Thor, Make-A-Wish Aquaman. You know, mix those together, brother. That's what you get. You know what I'm saying? But this is nice, Ferret. I appreciate this, dude. I know that this is a daunting thing for Destiny fans, a daunting thing for fans of Bungie. It's nice to see some kind of information coming to light from a company that is dealing with this kind of situation. We don't normally get it, you know? Water, whoa, water boy. H2O. So, this is a good one, dude. I appreciate this, brother. All right, let's look at this PS5 Slim autopsy, man. My mom said, mama said, PlayStation 5 Slim autopsy reveals a new cooling system and old 6-nanometer AMD chip. It is a smaller version of the original gaming system and is intended to gradually replace the previously released version of the device. Although the new PS5 has not yet officially gone on sale, some people have already gotten their hands on a copy. As a result, nice, dude. Gatorade is better. Yeah, bro. Some people have already gotten their hands on a copy of this hardware. As a result, people have already disassembled and videos have appeared on the internet, allowing a comparison of the new product with a standard version. Look at the difference in the cooling system. Yeah, all good, buddy. That's soul cleanse, dude. Among the first owners of the new console were popular YouTube bloggers Dave 2D and Linus, of course. Linus flipping tech tips, dude. Jesus. Who disassembled the PS5 Slim and clearly demonstrated the design differences from the original PS5. Externally, the differences between the two versions are visible not only in size, but also in the fact that the side removable panels of the new version are divided into two. That is, there are now not 2, but 4 panels on the console. In addition, owners of the new PS5 Digital Edition can easily install a disk drive if necessary, which we've also talked about requires an internet connection because it has to pair itself with the motherboard. It's got like it's got a chip on the drive itself that needs to pair with the motherboard through an internet connection. Otherwise, it won't work. Lately, the console's hard drive has been attracting increasing attention because to activate it upon first use, Sony requires users to log into their account. Oh, is this? Wait, hold on. The thinner PS5 Slim features 5 heat pipes. Oh, this is the PS5 Slim's heat, dude. So the Slim is this one. I thought they were like going to show it like this is the old, so this would be the old. But no, dude. That's all the old one had for a cooling system in it? No wonder they had overheat issues in some of them. Jesus Christ. Look at the new cooling system in the Slim, dude. Thinner PS5 Slim features 5 heat pipes and a smaller main cooling plate than the PS5, which also uses 4 heat pipes. Sony engineers went to great lengths to fit the largest possible cooling plate into the case, which is why they even redesigned the fan with 19 blades. Linus Tech Tip channel tested the console in a noise-reducing chamber and concluded the PS5 Slim is slightly quieter than the standard model, but produces more noise on the side where the hard drive is located. Despite the design changes, the new version of the console uses the same processor as the PS5. Previously, Sony switched the PS5 chip from a 7nm to a 6nm process technology. New version of the console, everything looks the same. Measurements from bloggers show the PS5 Slim uses the same 6nm Oberon Plus chip from AMD, which explains why the power consumption of the game system has not changed. What about cooling, though? They didn't say anything about if it runs cooler. They just talked about the difference in it. I want to see specs on if it runs cooler. Interesting. If you guys want to see these videos they have in here, I'll link it for you. Nice. Ferret got the way too smart, dude. I actually shot Ferret way too smart this morning. He's like, I think the stream's muted. Whenever the montage was running, he had his tab muted. And me and Vault were messing with him. Hypothetical Nintendo Switch 2 benchmarks show DLSS ray tracing and even 4K performance. Hypothetical. Look, man. There's going to be some people that already have knowledge, obviously, of what the... It's not even necessarily called the Switch 2. This is also a theory-crafted name. Nintendo hasn't told us exactly what the new hardware will be called. We don't have official specs of what it's going to entail hardware-wise yet either. But Nintendo, obviously, insiders know. Certain software collaborators have gotten their hands on this hardware, so they know, right? Nintendo has yet to formally announce or confirm any sort of details. Exactly. Based on rumors, leaks, and insider info, there's a lot of info out there on just what sort of hardware will power Nintendo's next-gen console. All of this is hypothetical. Games will be optimized specifically for Nintendo's new hardware. which should deliver more than what we see here. The team at Digital Foundry uses a PC with a 2050, a GeForce RTX 2050 4 gig GPU for its test, as it is Ampere based and most closely resembles the projected Nintendo hardware specs. Projected specs are a CPU 8 ARM A78C processor, NVIDIA Ampere GPU, 102.4 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth, and 128-bit memory interface. On top of this, the hardware will feature tensor cores for DLSS, with the potential for more expanded custom AI hardware to push performance even higher. Yeah, I mean, this is just a lot of like theory crafting for what we are going to get. Like I think we already kind of know. I'm going to link it for you guys if you want to take a deeper dive into this. I don't know that it's actually worth it. It's this is a lot of hype. It's a lot of hypotheticals, dude. It's I don't think there's enough here to put stock into for now. People are excited. We're still at least, I would say, half a year away. Probably actually about 8 months, at least 8 months away from the new Nintendo hardware, I would guess. I don't think we're going to get the new Nintendo hardware until the end of next summer or sometime next fall. So we've got a bit of time. As we move forward, we'll get definitive information about what Nintendo's new hardware will actually be, what the stats will be of the hardware. We already know that they're trying to hit a $400 price point. So that gives people something to go off of there. We'll keep track. I don't think there's enough to put stock into with this. People are just getting excited, so they're trying to, theory craft stuff. Blizzard on the possibility of WoW on Xbox. We are Microsoft now. Of course, we're talking about that. We actually had discussions about this in our community and in our news segments before the acquisition even completed, because you had to understand that, like, this is something the entire portfolio that Microsoft was acquiring with Activision Blizzard was way more than just Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty obviously was a big deal for them, but the portfolio is chonky, boy. It's a thick portfolio of games, either current games, modern games, or historical games that they can bring back into the modern fold. There's a lot for them to consider. And World of Warcraft, obviously, is a big thing that they need to decide about how they want to roll it out for their platforms and their services with Microsoft. Now, how they're going to do that, we'll find out. But they do already have a subscription service, right? So allowing people to continue to just buy into WoW as they always have done, or allowing people to maybe get access to WoW through their subscription service with maybe a higher buy-in or something, that's something that they're going to be considering. Or maybe it's just something that they put on the subscription service and try to use it as a pull to bring more people into the subscription service, because this is their golden goose right? Game Pass is and has been for a long time. The more subscribers they have, and the more subscribers they have on a consistent basis, that's good for Microsoft. So there's the potential that this is just something that ends up becoming part of Game Pass for both console and PC. If you have Game Pass, you get access to WoW. It could be. We'll see. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of conversation previously about whether or not Blizzard's legendary MMO World of Warcraft could one day come to consoles. I think there's no doubt about it. So is there a chance now that Microsoft acquisition is complete? During an interview at BlizzCon, World of Warcraft Vice President and Executive Producer Holly Longdale mentioned how the team is apparently open to the idea and talks about it all the time. When asked more specifically about a possible release on the Xbox in the future, Longdale mentioned how the team was also talking about that, while reminding everyone that Blizzard is technically Microsoft now. As for the immediate future of World of Warcraft and big questions like an Xbox or Game Pass release on PC, she notes how Blizzard hasn't actually had a conversation with Xbox about this just yet, as it's been literally weeks since the acquisition, right? Well, it's all sounding quite promising right now. Blizzard hasn't always been so open to the idea of WoW coming to console, with an official comment last year mentioning how its game is designed ground up for PC. In saying this, it has already added some additional controller support. Longdale also apparently stressed how Warcraft's teams have only had limited interactions with Xbox's game studios since the deal was finalized. Still, Blizzard has entered a new era now, so anything could happen under Microsoft and Xbox. At BlizzCon this year, Blizzard announced the World Soul Saga, which we looked at yesterday. Yeah. That's about it. But, yeah, I mean, this is literally what we kind of fleshed out earlier this year. Talking about, because I've always suspected this acquisition was going to come to fruition for Microsoft. And it has now. And so they're going to do everything they can to get the full benefit of using this portfolio from Activision Blizzard to the full benefit of their services as a Microsoft and Xbox subsidiary now, right? I mean, that just makes sense. They'll figure it out. I do think that it'll end up coming to consoles now. I do. So, Vault, thanks for all these articles, by the way. The past couple of articles, plus this one, and the next one are from Vault, and I appreciate it, buddy. So, Vault's been playing a little bit of Jusant, and the accessibility features arrive next month. I talk about accessibility a lot. I want as many people in the world to be able to experience the same world that I love so much, which is gaming, right? And whether that be accessibility peripherals, accessibility features in games, it needs to keep evolving so that whether it be people with limited to moderate disabilities in the physical or mental space, or from moderate to severe handicaps in the physical to mental space, have the ability to get in and play the same games that we all love. It's important. It's important to me. I know it's important to them. And it should be a large focus for developers. It is becoming more prominent, but it's still not where it needs to be. We see a lot of developers working on stuff. But I talk about this kind of thing a lot. And there are a lot of I think, features that developers try to push into the, well, it's an accessibility option that we're trying to incorporate. That it should, there are certain options that inherently, by default, should be part of every game's options for a game player. And it should not be considered by default an accessibility feature. Things like key mapping, key binding, like field of view sliders. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff, that is just, text size on the screen, stuff like that. Yeah, no, dude, Vault, you've been clutch, dude. I really appreciate it. Cappy, what's up, friendo? Happy Monday. So it's obviously there are specific things that are definitely going to be considered accessibility, right? Certain peripherals, things like colorblind modes, certain types of texts being altered for people with like dyslexia. There are things like accessibility modes for getting rid of people like spiders, for instance, in games for people that deal with arachnophobia, or helping people accessibility features like in Horizon. So for people that deal with thalassophobia, right, which is the fear of deep water. Their features, accessibility features. Those are dedicated accessibility features. But there are certain features that have, by default, should have been part of every game's development and an option for game players by default for a long time now, that you still see games get released with, and they're not there. Talking about like key binding, stuff like that. And it's just stupid. And seeing developers try to act like that kind of stuff is an accessibility option they're going to add in later, like it shouldn't have been there in the first place, ticks me off, dude. I hate it. I'm still sick, yeah, but I'm getting there, Cappy. I'm getting there. Dude, last night I could not quit coughing when I laid down. It's like, it's one of those, it's a really bad, I think I might have like a little bit of a sinus infection. I've got a really bad chest cold. So if I lay down, everything settles in my chest and I just start coughing my head off. But I finally I laid down and I was just like barking for like an hour, man, trying to go to sleep. And I finally just like threw a cough drop in, put it in my little like cheek pocket over here. I'm basically like a pack rat. I've gotten real thick, dude. So I've got big old cheeks now. I put a cough drop down in my little cheek pocket, dude. And it calmed me down and I ended up passing out for the rest of the night. So I slept better last night than I have for quite a while. But dude, I got pissed last night. Whenever I tried to lay down and go to sleep, I couldn't quit coughing. I got pissed off. I got mad, dude. I was like, I just want to go to sleep. I was so mad, dude. I was so tired. Yeah, I mean, I'm propping myself up at night too, but I can't sleep sitting up, I've got a big, nice bamboo pillow that I sleep on. So I'm like propping up like the top of my back and my head, but it's just brutal, dude. I've just got a lot of congestion and stuff. So, the Jusant launch accessibility features they're bringing to the table, font size, camera shake, camera lag, auto follow camera, display hints, cursor, and dyslexia font. Future accessibility features will be no stamina, simplified climbing mode, jump assistance, simplified interactions, rappel modification, and colorblind mode. So you can see where I'm talking about like some of this seems like it should be default part of game options and not necessarily considered accessibility, Like, I'm sorry, dude, but like font size, I feel like most games should just incorporate a font size option as default part of the game for subtitles and stuff. It doesn't seem like an accessibility feature, and like camera shake. A lot of people flipping hate camera shake. And being able to just turn camera shake on or off. Most games, a lot of developers will have that by default. It shouldn't be an accessibility thing. Need a font size for my aging eyes? Yeah, Florida. Me and you both, man. What's up, Florida? Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons that I like font size a lot is because of streaming, So because I stream everything, I like to turn the font size up to at least medium or large. That way, anybody that's watching has an easier time reading everything that's being, stated. I always turn on subtitles. I always try to increase the font size. That way, for you guys, you have an easier time seeing it too. I think it's important. There's some things that are obvious. You know what I mean? Like dyslexia. Things like that, like I talked about before. Incorporating a no stamina thing. Simplified climbing modes. A lot of this stuff down here. Jump assistance, simplified interactions, colorblind mode, that kind of stuff. But there's some things that I don't think should be considered accessibility, man. A lot of people hate camera shake. And it's not necessarily because of an accessibility issue. You know what I mean? Just don't like camera shake. So I have an issue with a lot of what developers want to call accessibility features instead of just default options in games, man. Florida, how you been? Happy Monday. How was your weekend? Yo, you were traveling this weekend, right? Are you still traveling? Last and not least, we've got dude legs. I think those are dude legs. I could be wrong. They just looked kind of hairy, but I don't know. Maybe it's just an all-natural lady. You know what I'm saying? Could be. Why not? So if anybody has anything else to add, let me know in chat. Dude, we'll discuss it before we move on. You back home? Oh, traveling for work last week. Oh. Rested up, baby showers and stuff. Battling cold. Dude, Florida, me and you both. Me, you. Marcy, you know what I mean? It's that time of the year, yo. I'm glad you made it back home. I'm glad your travels, did everything go well? Seems like it did, I guess. So this was another one from Vault. Check it out. Xbox owners rush to buy best rated $100 adventure game. $100 adventure game? Is this like Australia or something? It's landing in baskets for $15. Went pretty well. Learned a lot. Good, dude. That's awesome. Mythological adventure game. This talking about Immortals Phoenix Rising. Yeah, Immortals Phoenix Rising. Oh, Gold Edition. Probably because the Gold Edition originally was $100 or something. Video game bundle. The gaming bundle is now priced at just $15. According to the listing, the original price was $100. That means shoppers can save a staggering $85. You can buy it at this link. Offer ends in 3 days. When was this posted? Yesterday. So 2 more days. Has a T for teen rating. Suggestive themes, violence, and language. Mythological adventure gaming that involves playing as a winged demigod. This is a game that came out pretty close to the release of the PS5. Yeah. Again, what we talked about was we recently found out that this is an Ubi game, and recently Ubisoft axed the second one. And apparently, it was going pretty well from what a lot of insiders were talking about. Playtesters and stuff were talking about how the game was fun. They were really enjoying it, and Ubi just cut it, dude. So I don't know that we'll ever get to see another Immortals Phoenix Rising game. Who knows? Maybe they'll start it back up at some point, but we'll see. Ubi's been having issues, man. They've them along with like so many other big development companies, they've been struggling. Ubi's been having issues for past 2 to 3 years. And yeah, I don't know. They've it's weird to me that they've decided to stick with a game like Skull and Bones that they've delayed like 9 times now. But there was no delay for a game like Immortals Phoenix Rising 2, which we heard was supposed to be very good, and then they just axe it, I don't know. We're also not internal to that process, so who knows exactly why, but it does seem a little bit backwards, doesn't it? Over time, man, Immortals Phoenix Rising apparently did pretty well. So people liked it. I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you want, here's your link. Looks like this is a game to buy off of for Xbox on Microsoft probably, and you can get it at a pretty good deal right now. All right. I'm so tired of being sick. I'm so tired of being sick. I'm so sick of being tired and tired of being sick. Let's go play some games because I know you guys don't want to hear me sing any longer. So we'll play some music instead. How about that? You guys rock, dude. My dudes and dudesettes. I definitely feel like I rested a little bit better yesterday, but I just still got that congestion, dude. It sucks. So, good news segment, man. As always, we're going to go play some Baldur's Gate 3 with our broski. My name is Pinky. Cool. But if anybody's been able to hang out that's not familiar with what we do here, man, this is our Jam-a-Lam. We go 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday. We start off at 6 a.m. CST CDT. We kick it off with video gaming news, like we just completed or are finishing up right now. And just trying to stay current on what's going on in the world of video games, you know, the industry, flesh out a lot of these ideas together and stay current on what's going on, man. And then as we're about to do right now, we segue our way into playing video games for the rest of the day, you know. So we got an amazing community here. Great people taking care of one another, spreading good vibes. Obviously, video games is what brings us together. We all love video games, but I'm so fortunate to have an amazing community of awesome people to spend every single day with doing these live streams, and we're always looking for more good people to come be a part of what we do, man. So if you fit the mold, man, you're about good times and good peoples and spreading good vibes and stuff, then I would prompt you to come be a part of what we do. If you're interested in checking out some of our previous content, then you know, all the previous video gaming news segments, all the gameplay playthroughs we've done, funny clips and highlights, all that stuff's on the Twitch channel as well as the YouTube channel. So check that out, and if you're enjoying it, then come hang out with us when we're live, man. We always love having new people come be a part of what we do. Other than that, man, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. We'll be back tomorrow with more video gaming news for November 7th. But it is time to go play some games. So the stream's not going down. I'm going to run us an outro scene real quick, and we'll be right back with starting up the video or playing video games. Baldur's Gate 3. Cool.